The snowmobile roared through the icy plains, a plume of white trailing behind. The engine's growl echoed in the vast, silent expanse, a stark contrast to the serene, snow-covered landscape. The riders, bundled up in layers of thermal clothing, felt the biting cold seep through their gear, but their spirits were high. Tourists bundled in thick winter gear laughed, their breath misting the air. They were a group of adventurers, eager to experience the raw beauty of the Arctic. The camaraderie among them was palpable, each laugh and shared glance a testament to the bonds formed in this frozen wilderness. Excitement filled the crisp air. The group engaged in various activities, from snowball fights to capturing the breathtaking scenery with their cameras. Every moment was a new discovery, a fresh memory etched into their minds, a once-in-a-lifetime expedition to witness the Arctic's beauty. The vast, untouched landscape stretched out before them, a pristine white canvas dotted with the occasional wildlife sighting. They marveled at the sheer scale and majesty of their surroundings. Little did they know their adventure was about to take a dramatic turn. The thrill of exploration was soon to be overshadowed by an unexpected challenge that would test their resolve and unity. As the snowmobile navigated a bend, a sight stopped them in their tracks. The driver, eyes wide with surprise, brought the vehicle to a sudden halt. The group, sensing the change in atmosphere, fell silent. Huge, dark shapes protruded from the snowdrifts. At first they seemed like rocks or debris, but as the group peered closer, the true nature of the shapes became apparent. Confused, the tourists dismounted, their laughter replaced by hushed whispers. They approached cautiously, the initial excitement giving way to a sense of foreboding. It was a sight that would turn their leisurely expedition into a desperate rescue mission. The realization dawned on them slowly, the gravity of the situation sinking in. The monstrous forms lay still, partially buried in the snow. The group could now see the outlines more clearly, and their hearts sank. Closer now, the tourists gasped. Whales! The word spread through the group like wildfire, each person reacting with a mix of shock and concern. Two massive humpback whales lay stranded, their bodies awkwardly positioned on the unforgiving ice. The majestic creatures, so full of life in the ocean, now seemed vulnerable and out of place. The group knew they had to act quickly to save these gentle giants from a grim fate. The Arctic wind howled around the group, biting through their layers. The cold was relentless, seeping into their bones, despite the heavy winter clothing they wore. Each gust of wind felt like a knife cutting through the air, making it hard to move, let alone think clearly. The immensity of the situation sank in. The whales, magnificent creatures of the deep, were hopelessly out of their element. Their usually sleek skin appeared dry and cracked in the relentless cold. One whale, its massive eye half open, looked at the tourists, a silent plea for help in its gaze. The sight was heart-wrenching. These giants of the ocean, who usually glide through the water with such grace and power, were now stranded and vulnerable. The cold had taken its toll on them, and their once vibrant and smooth skin was now a testament to their suffering. Their immense size, usually a spectacle of awe in the vast ocean, was now their biggest enemy. The tourists circled the stranded giants, their faces a mix of determination and despair. They knew they had to act quickly, but the sheer scale of the task was daunting. The whales' eyes, filled with a desperate look, seemed to follow their every move, as if understanding the gravity of the situation. Their footprints, the only disturbance in the pristine snow. Time was of the essence. Every step they took left a mark, a reminder of the urgency of their mission. The untouched snow, so beautiful and serene, was now a backdrop to a race against time. The tourists moved with purpose, their minds focused on one goal: to save these majestic creatures. Every minute felt like an hour under the oppressive Arctic sky. The dark, overcast sky added to the sense of urgency and despair. The tourists worked hurriedly, their breath visible in the cold air as they tried to come up with a plan. The weight of the situation pressed down on them, but they knew they couldn't give up. The lives of these incredible creatures depended on their efforts. The situation was direr than it initially appeared. The whales weren't just stuck, they were encrusted with barnacles, sharp and unforgiving. These barnacles, usually harmless in the water, posed a serious threat. The rough, sharp edges could tear at the whale's skin if they thrashed about, causing further injury. The tourists exchanged worried glances. This wasn't just about pushing the whales back into the water. They needed a plan, and fast, one that considered the delicate situation of the barnacles. Fear threatened to paralyze them. The sheer scale of the task seemed insurmountable. Yet amidst the biting wind and the desperate plight of the whales, a spark ignited, a shared determination to act to help these helpless giants. These tourists, strangers brought together by chance, were now united by a common goal. The initial shock gave way to a steely resolve. They wouldn't let these majestic creatures perish on their watch. They were now a rescue team, bound by compassion and a glimmer of hope. Section 5. Assessing the situation. The group huddled, their voices muffled against the wind. They needed a plan, and they needed it now. Examining the whale's position, they realized the creatures were beached on a shallow ice shelf. Could they dig away the ice and create a path for the whales back to the open water? It seemed impossible, but it was their only chance. One of the tourists, a doctor, took charge, his voice calm amidst the storm. "We need to work quickly and carefully," he shouted above the wind. "We need to create a channel towards the water." Section 6. The digging begins. Using anything they could find, snowshoes, ice picks, even their bare hands, the tourists began to dig. The work was arduous, the cold biting at their exposed skin. Their breaths formed frosty clouds in the air, a testament to their struggle against nature's fury. Each swing of the ice pick, each handful of snow removed, was fueled by a shared determination. They could hear the whales breathing, labored and shallow, a constant reminder of the urgency of their task. Time was slipping away with each passing gust of wind. Section 7. A beacon of hope. The rescue team arrives. Just as exhaustion threatened to overwhelm them, a distant whirring sound cut through the howling wind. A rescue helicopter, alerted by a distress signal sent earlier, appeared on the horizon. Relief washed over the weary group. They weren't alone in their fight anymore. The helicopter landed a safe distance away, its blades kicking up a blinding swirl of snow. A team of professionals equipped for such situations disembarked, their faces grim but resolute. They had faced such challenges before. Hope, once a flickering ember, now roared back to life. Section 8. Freedom at last. Working alongside the professionals, the tourists continued their efforts, their spirits rekindled by the arrival of help. The rescue team, armed with specialized equipment, carefully chipped away at the ice, creating a channel towards the open water. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the channel was complete. With a mighty splash, the first whale, guided by the rescue team, slipped back into its natural element. A collective cheer erupted, a triumphant sound echoing across the frozen wasteland. The second whale soon followed, its powerful tail slapping the water in a gesture of newfound freedom. Section 9. A moment of triumph and reflection. As the whales swam away, disappearing into the vast expanse of the Arctic Ocean, the group felt a mix of emotions. There was a sense of accomplishment, knowing they had played a part in something much larger than themselves. The sight of the majestic creatures, now free, was a testament to their efforts and determination. A profound silence descended upon the group. It was a silence filled with awe and reverence for the natural world. Each person stood there, lost in their thoughts, reflecting on the journey that had brought them to this moment. They stood there, amidst the snow and ice, watching as the creatures they'd helped save swam free. The cold Arctic air was a stark reminder of the harsh environment these whales called home. Yet in that moment, the cold seemed to fade away, replaced by a warm sense of fulfillment. They had witnessed the raw power of nature, the fragility of life, and the interconnectedness of all living beings. The vastness of the Arctic landscape stretched out before them, a reminder of how small yet significant their actions were in the grand scheme of things. The extraordinary things that can be achieved when people work together were evident in their success. The teamwork, the shared goals, and the collective effort had culminated in this triumphant moment. It was a powerful reminder of what humanity can accomplish when united by a common purpose. The tourists, once strangers, were now bonded by an experience they would never forget. They had come from different walks of life, but this shared adventure had created a unique and lasting connection. The smiles, the laughter, and the stories exchanged were all part of the tapestry of this unforgettable journey. They had faced their fears, pushed their limits, and emerged victorious. The challenges they'd overcome were now badges of honor, symbols of their resilience and courage. The sense of relief and triumph was palpable, a testament to their indomitable spirit. The Arctic wind, no longer a chilling adversary, now seemed to whisper a tale of courage, compassion, and the triumph of the human spirit. The serene beauty of the landscape, once daunting, now felt like a gentle embrace, a reward for their perseverance. The memory of this day, etched forever in their hearts, would serve as a reminder of the day they helped save giants of the sea. It was a day of triumph and reflection, a day that showcased the best of humanity and the enduring power of hope and unity.